Okay, welcome back to part 3 of the Telemedia News in 10. This is our Christmas special, in case you hadn't guessed, with me, the naughty elf, Jarvis Todd, and the giver of Telemedia gifts, Paul Skeldon. There you go.
Hurrah.
Bad Santa.
Hurrah.
We're going to quickly race through the predictions for 2021 based on the fact that all we do in our little cupboards is talk about mobile payments, mobile messaging, mobile apps, premium content, value-added services. It's all we care about, frankly. So, Paul, tell me, what's your first prediction for 2021?
First prediction, many more mainstream brands will be using direct carrier billing. And it's going to appear on all sorts of other things, as set-top boxes, smart TVs, PC games, consoles, you name it, even things you probably haven't even thought of yet. We're going to see carrier billing in there as a way of onboarding people for OTT services in particular, but we may well see them signing up to all sorts of things. It's going to play a big role, I think, in games, and I think games are going to become much more virtual reality and augmented reality based, and there's all sorts of opportunities there. I think as well, voice commerce, where people talk to their Alexa or Google Home, there's going to be opportunities there for payments too. So I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I have to say that I think again, we sort of say this a lot. If you'd said to me 2 years ago we'd be talking about smart TVs and set-top boxes, I would not have believed you. If you'd said to me that, service providers be working with e-learning companies, I wouldn't have believed you. And if you said to me that things like AI, machine learning, bots were really an intrinsic part of telemedia, I would not have believed you, which is our second prediction. There's going to be a lot more of that kind of stuff in our world.
Totally. I think we're all using AI anyway. I think we're probably involved in some sort of AI while we're recording this. So it's everywhere. I think as far as consumers are concerned, they don't even know it's happening. But for customer service, for entertainment services, for matching people to the content they want and the billing mechanism they want. It's all AI, and bots are out there already. Machine learning's making all of this much more sort of intuitive and rich for users to use. So these are all going to become intrinsic sort of back office tools for all telemedia companies.
Yeah. And just like at Christmas, when your granny tells you about how things are not the same as they used to be. I'm going back, and you and I can remember when the most exciting thing about this time of year was a £1.50 Ring Santa line.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Talking of the sort of how quickly it changes, though, back in December last year when we were talking about areas that we would cover, I mentioned e-learning, and you were sceptical. I have to say, you poo-pooed it, and it is now that Centelli do it. They do carrier billing for a couple of e-learning companies. So these things do come about, and they come about really quick.
Well, that's why you've been promoted to Santa, and I'm now relegated to the naughty elf.
I think so. It was always on the cards, I think.
The third day of Christmas, RCS messaging, conversational commerce, no real surprises. We're going to be talking a lot more about this.
Oh, absolutely. And it's all going to start to come together. I think we're going to see not only operators pushing RCS and more brands using RCS and other messaging services to drive this sort of interaction, engagement-based sort of messaging-based commerce. You're going to see it right across retail. You're going to see it right across entertainment and media. But I think what you're going to start to see is this bringing together of carrier billing and messaging and conversational commerce and all the other kinds of payments and messaging into these sort of payments and communications and messaging as a service platforms, which companies will then start to offer as a sort of online based service to brands, network operators who can pick and choose the bits of it they want in each individual market they want to go about. So they can target specific types of content with billing and the marketing and the messaging that they need in different countries to different age groups, all driven by sort of the AI that sits behind their marketing engines. All of this stuff comes together, and where this would have been sort of something we might have been looking at in 2030, I think we're going to see this start to happen sort of in a big way in 2021. It's Centelli are already there with their sort of sort of communication payments as a service platform idea, others are bound to follow suit. So yeah, I think that I think is the really interesting prediction for 2021, is how this all comes together and is sold by telemedia companies as a sort of a SaaS service.
Well, I've got to stop you there, mate, because it's getting cold outside. My prediction is, and you mentioned it there, PaaS, SaaS, MaaS. I think that my prediction for next year is, despite the fact that I've been lamenting this since the beginning, since we started, the dangerous spread of acronyms, and I think it must stop. And with all the best will in the world, it's used by all of our favorite companies. And it was mentioned, I think, in a Centilli Elevate session that I listened in on earlier in the week, and they were talking about, we have been this year so successful at driving this sort of technology and our services into new markets, and the danger, I think, is always to be over technical. It's in many ways, it's a difficult concept for even, for lots of people to get in the first place. If you start attaching ridiculous acronyms to absolutely everything, all you're doing is creating a barrier to entry, a barrier to understanding, because people just assume that that you know what you're talking about. Most people are too embarrassed to say they don't know what they're talking about. And this year, I mean, for goodness sake, we had AR, VR, MaaS, PaaS, SaaS, AI, YW, NWA, which actually turned out to be, I understood that in the end. And also, I don't know if you remember, we there was one press release that from Docomo, which very casually mentioned APM, and you didn't know what it was, and I still haven't found out what it was. Vaccinations. It's got to stop, people.
No, you're right. I did look up APM, but I have to say I forgot what it is. But yes, no, I agree.
If you're going to use an acronym, use the full word first, and then put the acronym in brackets, and then everyone's. You could be as ignorant as you like, but you don't need to ask the question, you see, and then you'll know.
I think it is TSTA, time to stop the acronyms.
Very good. Right. Okay. And finally, the other big prediction, I think, which is pretty obvious, is this continual rollout of 5G, and how flipping marvelous that is going to be when it comes to creating and delivering high quality services to mobile telephony.
It's just going to make all of this, it's going to glue all this together and make it happen, because the speed and bandwidth and this thing called network slicing they can do now with 5G, so you can send far more stuff over the same sort of bandwidth essentially. It's just going to it's going to make all the sort of delivery of services quicker and slicker, and the kind of things you're trying to bill for will be better. But I think it also just brings in a whole host of ways of analyzing and on the fly adapting what kind of content and services and billing mechanisms and everything that gets delivered to each individual consumer. So I think 5G is going to make everything so much richer, and so much more sort of fun and think of stuff that people will pay for. It's just we're going to see so much more sort of augmented reality and virtual reality and stuff around everything. It won't just be games. Your e-commerce sort of buying stuff online off Amazon is going to involve virtual reality and augmented reality, and it's going to be everywhere, and 5G is the key to that, and it's here. I mean, there's about 1 billion people, I think, using 5G already, or will be by the end of the year. So it's well on the way. Hopefully Santa will bring me a nice 5G phone for Christmas, and I will be one of them.
Well, I was going to ask you what you were hoping Santa would stuff into your stocking, Paul, but you've already answered that question. But you are truly, mate, the ghost of telemedia Christmas future.
I like to think past, present, and future. We've been doing this so long that I do feel like I might be all three ghosts. Yes,
I think so, and I thank you. I thank you for your time and all your efforts this year. I think it's been one of your finest years in terms of wordsmithery.
Well, thank you very much.
We've seen an increase in our traffic into telemedia news. We've seen an increase in our circulation of the magazine, hits to our website. We've seen the launch of Telemedia 8.1 with over 1,000 subscribers. We've got a newsroom in there, which is also one of the most popular pages. So I think it feels as though, after quite a difficult couple of years, we've really turned the corner in terms of our industry. And I think I would like to say a big thank you to everybody that has supported us this year, especially our advertisers and sponsors. If you didn't know out there, people, we only are able to pay Paul based on advertising revenue. So every bit of sponsorship, every bit of advertising, it really, really helps us do what we do. And if we get more next year, we can do it even better.
Absolutely, and I think I think thanks as well. A job well done to the rest of our team, Annika and Geraldine, without whom none of this would be possible at all. You and I would just be two blokes in a pub full of ideas. And I think also to you for you have reacted with great agility to our changing sort of world that we're in, and as was said earlier on in parts whatever of this multi-part podcast. Adapting to the unofficial Mobile World Congress, the launch of Telemedia 8.1, done some really excellent stuff. Not just sort of having to fill a gap. You've created something really quite novel and groundbreaking. So
stop it! Stop it! So
if it wouldn't, hats off to you, mate, as well. So altogether, aren't we brilliant?
Well, should we bring in the dogs?
The dog has wandered off. I don't know where my lovely dog has gone. He was meant to make a guest appearance.
So it's goodbye. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from her. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, one and all. Merry Christmas to you, Jarvis, as well.